Hey, how's it going, guys? All right, let's see if we can get set up. See if my camera will fix. I don't know if I'm still on continuous autofocus. So, because we have a newer camera, like a higher quality camera, it's interesting, right? It's higher quality, but it's harder to use, right? So, I might have to adjust something because it looks like kind of looks like shit a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Um There we go. I think that fixed it a little bit. All right, guys. So, how are you all today? Let's see if I can. You guys all doing well today? All right. So, interesting little. Good to see you, brother, bro. Burns on IP. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you guys. That's why I wanted to stream today. Honestly, that's I was contemplating streaming today, and last night I was like, nah, I can't stream. I have shit to do and a lot of shit to do. I still do. And then I was thinking, I'm like, okay, well, and then I woke up this morning. I was like, no, I really can't, and I wanted to, but then I just thought about it. And you're like, you know what, man? I don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care. Make sure that's not dripping out of there. I lick my own fucking carafe. But I was like, you know, man, I don't give a shit. I'm going to stream. And you want to know why? Because it makes me happy. Because I enjoy doing it. Because you guys are pretty cool. And I have a bunch of bureaucratic shit I'm dealing with school. I bitch about this. I bitch and moan about this all the time. You guys have to hear me talk about that all the time, but I do, and I could give you guys a little example of what's going on. It's fucking ridiculous. I've never had a class this insane. So I'm taking what is called a senior capstone, right? And what a senior capstone well, most people know what a senior capstone is. GMAC, is that the GMAC? Hello, GMAC. How's it going, my friend? It's just essentially the last class I have to take before I graduate. Blah, 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 blah. You guys in chat all know what the fuck that is. I don't know why I said that. But for this class, I have to write about a 20-page thesis. This is an undergrad degree, mind you. This is an undergrad degree. This is ridiculous. This is like master's level shit. I don't know why they're bent on doing this, but they are. So I have to write like a 20-page paper by the end of the class. That's on its own. It's a really in-depth research paper. That on its own sucks. I had to write a 10-page pre-thesis before the semester started. A 10-page pre-thesis. Now, guys, I have to write a 5-page. It's due tomorrow. I have to write a 5-page. I haven't even started. Revised thesis. Because you just have to revise it. I mean, it's just like, this is insanity. How am I paying to do this shit, you know? Like, how is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's insane. It's insanity. It's total insanity. And I was like, you know, man, probably can't stream today, but I want to stream, you know? I want to have a good time. I got to rep Kansas City whenever I'm on stream. I always use this mug whenever I do. Kansas City's a little up-and-comer city. People think it's in the middle of nowhere, but yeah. Getting good at writing essays, dude. I mean, have you guys thought about this? A lot of you guys are in school. GMAC, I think you included. Nate told me that you're in. Guys, I know GMAC personally. It's disturbing. Guys, have you ever thought about this? In a student, especially if you're in humanities or social sciences, STEM students don't have to do this as much. STEM students have whole other messes that they have to deal with, right? That's different and honestly, to me, harder. But have you thought about how many papers we've written? Just think about that. How many essays, papers has the average college student written? Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I've written hundreds. I've written thousands of pages. Probably around 1,000 pages, right? I mean, like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's insanity. Yeah, academia is thrash. Good luck, man. Yeah, thanks, dude. I mean, like, should be my last semester where I'll graduate this summer. I'm thinking about, because of how hard this class is and how intense it is, I'm gonna probably graduate this summer, and not feel too bad about it, honestly. I'm not feeling too hard on myself, I gotta say, whatsoever. I'm in a interdisciplinary degree, to be honest. It's 20 times easier, but it looks better on the degree. Dude, GMAC, interdisciplinary programs are the shit. But looks better on the degree. Makes no sense. College is dirt. The only reason I attend is because I go for free. Yeah, dude. So, yeah. So interdisciplinary programs are the most academic endeavors, if you ask me, right? In a large sense, especially when you get into grad school. So GMAC, I was about to not about. Well, my plan was to go to grad school, but because of you wonderful people here, I don't know if it would make sense for me to go to grad school. I think, I wanted to go to grad school because I actually wanted to learn, right? I wanted to, do something in academia. I wanted to learn. I wanted to be a forever student. And that's what professors are, right? That's exactly what professors are. People don't think about it in this context. They're like, professors are forever students. And that's what I wanted to do. But YouTube would allow me in a more efficient way to not only be a forever student, but it would allow me to teach and perhaps share some stuff to people in a way larger context. And we've grown quite a bit. I've gotten a lot of help on Patreon and YouTube members. You guys are great. Streams. David fucking drops in chat all the time. He fucking donates half his bank account. I appreciate it. But yeah, you guys are at least helping me facilitate, this channel into being like an actual sustainable thing. So I think that I'm gonna do this. But GMAC, my whole goal was to go to grad school. I don't think I'm going to do that now because of YouTube, but that's what I wanted to do in grad school. I wanted to do something interdisciplinary. I wanted to do something that crossed paths. I think if I could have chosen, I wanted to do something within the intersection of sociology and philosophy, something like that, which is a lot of just like critical theory. Professors are meant to move from students to researchers and or teachers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just, man, I'm done. I'm been so disenchanted with academia. My parents are both professors. I don't know if you remember. Yeah, yep, I remember that. But they're the forever student type because of the era they grew up in. I feel as though college nowadays is 20% useful because of how much we've. Yeah, we've progressed, but how far the system lags behind. Yeah, so yeah, technologically, right? So technologically, and in a lot of ways, we've progressed as a not only like as humans, but as like specific cultures and stuff like that. We're in truly the global stage of technology. But yeah, the system is absolutely lagging behind, right? So GMAC, we if you're interested, man, I don't know if you've actually like watched some of my videos in depth or anything like that, but one video that we made in one work so GMAC, what I actually do, I don't know how much you've seen this channel, but I like to translate books, so books of philosophy, books of theory into video form. So I like to take the book, try to plug it into a YouTube video, and try to sort of translate it over into video form, because a lot of people can't take the time to read a book. And not only that, like visual learning's a very useful way of learning things, but that's what I try to do. But my video on capitalist realism by Mark Fisher does, dude, like when you talk about a system lagging behind in education, I mean, he puts that into just perfect prophetic words, if you ask me. I think it's the opposite. We've lost the ability to care about knowledge beyond utility. Well, right. Well, that is the technological essence that I'm talking. No, I don't disagree with that one at all. No, especially in capitalism, right? A system based on just raw utility and profit. Matter of fact, this next video, guys, we're doing, Ben and everyone, is The System of Objects by Baudrillard. And Baudrillard goes into detail about, oh God, guys, the System of Objects video I think is going to be pretty good. I like it. It goes into like how we consume things and the main thesis of the System of Objects, if there is one. Oh my God, guys, this is a dense book. If there is a main thesis of the System of Objects, it is that consumption is the main driving factor of capitalism and everything around us. Thus, not only this, it's a type of consumption. Our consumption has changed from functionalism, right? When raw commodities were made, commodities, objects, products were made, it was used to solve a material need. Once we hit 1960s, post-World War II capitalism, global capitalism wasn't quite a thing yet. Once we hit that point, we started consuming signs, and we started consuming like the status of an object, right? So like our consumption radically changes, and we're getting into such a hyper real state of capitalism and consumption that, yeah, like we only have room to care about knowledge, philosophy, what be it, through its utility in a concrete economic sense, right? We still have hobbies. People enjoy philosophy as a hobby, obviously, but it's different than in like a concrete sense where people can dedicate their lives to things like knowledge. Like not even professors can, guys. Professors are commodified beyond belief, right? So the goal of being a professor, really, most professors just want to be forever students, right? That's the thing. But they're forced to sell their labor power in teaching. They have to teach. They're still forced to sell their labor power, just like anyone else. Of course, I saw the Elon one. Watch one of your live streams day after. Gotcha. Hell yeah, man. I just didn't know if you have done that. Yeah, I feel like in the past life would update every week though through newspapers and the media they had was limited. Nowadays, I feel like update. Yeah, that's 100%. I mean, yeah, you're 100% right. So that's something really interesting too, right? We could have another discussion about new media. So like, I'll read Stroke. I've seen your capitalist realism at least 4 times. It's very good. Oh, hell yeah, man. I love that. Like, if you can find utility in these videos and watch them multiple times, that's fucking sick. I love that. But this is a good conversation to have. I had, so I was on this YouTube channel called The Vanguard. So this is interesting. If you guys have seen me on The Vanguard, I've been on there twice. They're pretty small, but I went to, guys, the owner of The Vanguard, his name's Gavin and Zach. Guys, this is weird. They both grew up in Kansas City. I didn't even realize they were making content. They've grown a lot recently, and I'm happy for them. I had classes with Gavin, right? I had classes with Gavin in my political science classes, and we never really talked to each other at all. And then once he started making content, he saw my stuff. He's like, "Hey, dude, like I recognize you from school, whatever." Anyways, we're friends now, and but we've talked about this a little bit. And I think Gavin has a little bit more of an optimistic viewpoint of this. So, I know he's responded when I brought up like, look, right now media is at a point of just like GMAC, like you said, it is constant, just feeding and circulation, and it is a constant like barrage of images and signs and stuff like that. And what happens is the fact that we do have access, we have like record access to this stuff, the media, it's actually not necessarily like a good thing per se, right? So there's positive objects, but it's way deeper than that. There's because I would say the mainstream idea of something like the internet is that, look, we had a very centralized form of media consumption on TVs, right? Right, there was like 5 channels. You could watch each of those: Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. That is your consumption, and that was ultimate brainwashing, because it was. That's exactly what that was. The media at that point is absolutely a brainwashing mechanism. But the mainstream idea past that is that the internet will liberate us from these things. The internet will create a decentralized network of media and these new channels can pop up. I can pop up. The Vanguard can pop up. People can just start whatever they want. And now that we have a larger market, we have larger modes of access, information is available for everyone. That, in my opinion, is the most overly optimistic thing I think I've ever heard. And I don't mean that as an insulting way, because it makes sense on the surface. It makes sense on the surface that, look, everyone has access to these technological things. They have access to to information, but that doesn't mean the information's correct. It doesn't mean anything like that. Right? I can't imagine misinformation is easier to get your hands on today than it ever has. Right? Granted, the media apparatus of the old media of, TV, large corporate conglomerates, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Yeah, absolutely. It was false consciousness. Absolutely. They were selling us false bags of goods all the time. Right. But that doesn't mean that we're solving the fundamental problem even today. Right. So here's an example. Here's a historical example that I like to point out. During the printing press, guys, the printing press back in the day, people were like, guys, people are going to be able to have books, right? Humanity is going to progress beyond our imagination. This is during the printing press. I don't know when the printing press was made. What, 600-700 years ago? So, I don't know. I don't know when. They're like, look, this will become like the gateway to human civilization past what we could have ever expected. Well, guess what? The printing press didn't actually do that, because you could just write a book about raw fucking bullshit and people could buy it, and that's what happens. It's the same thing, right? The internet gives us this new epoch of humanity where we can just, explode our relative, like old ways of consuming, but that's not actually it. We consume in a very, very similar manner, right? So a lot of people talk about, like, I remember I had a discussion with Gavin about this, and he was like, yeah, but we have these new content creators that aren't beholden to corporate interest. That's fine. But again, we can talk about the political economy. We can talk about corporate interest, and we can talk about the relationship between money and politics, all of these things. That's true, and that's great. Problem is we're not talking about ideology, and we're not talking about a new sort of like money marketplace, that being shit like Patreon. Guys, that's a big deal. People don't realize, like, dude, there's people who make $30K a month on Patreon, on crowdfunding. And what do? Instead of being beholden to corporations, they're beholden to their audience. Seriously, guys, they're just going to make videos and do stuff that they know their audience will agree with. And this happens, and these YouTubers, these media creators, they have admitted this. So it's not like, sure, it's better, right? I'm totally willing to admit that, yeah, it's probably better we don't have large corporations that are the huge hegemonic entities, but it doesn't mean what we're consuming is going to be way better and way less of like a weird hyper-real symbol. All right, so I'll read chat now. I'm done with my rant. Hey, man, did not get a notification what I missed. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I could see that. I don't have a lot of viewers. Typically, we are low on viewers. We're at 22 viewers. Typically, I'm a little higher than that by now, but that's fine. No big deal. We can have a more intimate stream, guys. Plastic Pills talked about how Trump's aides couldn't have gotten him to help with the Capitol Hill raid because he was too entrenched. Yeah, so, like, look, but I would say the Trump phenomenon isn't like TV, right? So, like, obviously Trump may have been entranced on TV, but that's because Trump's an old timer, man. He's still an old fucking dude. I mean, he still uses the internet. Guys, he used the internet almost better than any politician ever. Yeah. Did you talk about everything with GME already? So GMAC, I think we did talk a little bit about GME. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Yeah, we did. We had an entire stream. GMAC about GME and what's going on with that. But nothing new. It's good. It's good to fuck with the order of Wall Street, and I think most hedge funds were short on things like GME and stuff like that, and that's smart of them because they're failing businesses, like, let's be real. But yeah, to fuck that order up is good, fundamentally. So Whether how good, I don't know. That's up for debate in the long run. Misinformation in my media, it's more likely than you think. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, man. Is there, and I think I think there are some content creators. Like, guys, I'm a fucking content creator. Granted, I'm not a political comment. I don't look on stream. I comment on politics, but like my channel, the main function of my channel isn't like the commentary of practical politics. That is the most oversaturated field ever. Like, that is like, I can't like, everyone's a political expert nowadays, guys. I don't mean that facetiously. I mean that literally in some ways. Like, I really do. Like, again, we're talking about access. People have access to a lot of information people of the past did not. Everyone can be a political expert. That's not what I want to make my thing about. Obviously, on stream, like, we're going to talk about this stuff because it's important, and I like to talk about it. The heart and soul of me is a political scientist, like a political theorist, right? That's what I went to school for. So, I see the need for that, but that's not my main function. But a lot of people who do political commentary, or they want to make it in that field, I think there is this protectionist viewpoint of this. Like, there's a false image of what independent media is. Independent media, guys, isn't independent anymore, right? It doesn't matter per se. There's different degrees of whether it matters, right? So corporate reinforcement absolutely plays a huge role, and it's worse, right? But it doesn't matter that you're beholden to an audience of people who fund you, right? So it's true. Like, you will do, it doesn't matter if you're secular talk, if you're, crystal ball, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm trying to think of people. I don't watch a lot of practical politics like I used to. It doesn't matter. You're beholden to the people who fund you no matter what. And it doesn't fundamentally change much. Ideology will still play a huge role, whether you're funded by corporations or you're making $50K a month on fucking Patreon. Seriously. Most people don't make that much, but like some people, there's a lot of people who make like 15, 20K a month on Patreon. That's insane. That's insanity. Technology isn't post-ideological. Absolutely. Still reinforcing the same structures 100%. Just so you know, I caught a bit of that stream of yours with the Libertarian guy. You are really well-spoken, dude. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was... Oh, God. He kept... So we can talk about that, too. Yeah, we... He said that... So his entire goal was not to have a concrete position on anything. That was it. It was to backtrack on any possible issue I had with, his view, right? He was like, well, every defense that dude made was, you're fundamentally misunderstanding me. I'm like, dude, you have said that about every single rebuttal I have ever fucking made. He said, and so I had to stop. He was just being, I think some people are like, okay, yeah, dude, this dude's being dishonest. I think he probably was. There was not going to be any concession anywhere about any issue with, and also too, I was trying to pin down exactly what he was thinking. And I think he got to the point where he finally admitted that, look, like, I'm talking about anarcho-capitalism, and I was talking about, okay. And I started talking concretely about anarcho-capitalism, and then he was saying, oh, but you're misunderstanding me. I'm like, okay, fuck off, man. Fuck right off. Shut up. I'm glad that he came on, but he was being very trolly in chat. Sounds to me like transitioning from feudalism to capitalism to Patreon, like support crowdfunding. Seems like a list of small step towards Rousseau's idea of the general public will, maybe, in some ways, right? Yeah, I mean, in some ways, maybe in a market setup, but also, here's the thing. I don't know if, like, it's hard to pin down what it's hard to pin down what Rousseau means by the general will, right? Me and one of my professors were talking about that, like, dude, no one knows what the fuck he actually, that's the one shitty thing about Rousseau, is the general will is still extremely vague. Didn't read it in English? Oh shit, did you read it in French? Fancy intellectual you are, Ben. But, guys, I don't think the political economy at large is falling apart when it comes to independent media. That is good. I made a tweet not too long ago, guys. We don't talk enough about ideology. The left talks a lot about the political economy, and it's good. even though there's a lot of leftists who have no idea what the fuck that means in a concrete theoretical way, like Marx and Engels said. But really, leftist politics is the sort of like view of the political economy, right? That's what most look who's funding who is a campaign, and that's good. We still don't talk enough about the consequence of the political economy, that being larger ideology as a whole, right? I do not think individual crowdfunding, and I say this as someone that I rely on crowdfunding from you guys, right? We live in a commodified world. Like I have to do that to survive. Crowdfunding, Patreon, whatever you be it, whatever that is, getting funded by your audience, that does not fix the fundamental consequence of ideology. It doesn't even touch it. And I don't know why. There's a lot of people on the left who they don't even think about ideology. The ideology doesn't exist to them. Everything is the political economy. And that's fine. But also, too, we're fundamentally we're losing sight of also what Marx talked about. Marx did talk a lot about ideology. I think Zizek and I think Althusser do a lot better on taking Marx's idea of ideology and really making it more concrete. But Marx did talk about the ideology that stems from the political economy. But for some weird reason, the left doesn't want to talk about that. I don't know why. To me, I don't see what is not consequential about ideology that's not worth talking about. Whether it may be because a lot of the left, we don't contend with a lot of theory a lot of the time. And that's one of the reasons why I do this, right? It's one of the, talk about gaining context of the world and practical political realm around you. Theory does that very well. And that's kind of why I'm doing this. But it surprises me how much the left doesn't have any theory to their shit. Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. The left does, right? We're talking about the political economy and how the left has embraced that completely, right? And that's great. That's wonderful. But it's a subconscious thing. They don't know what the political economy is in a concrete theoretical way. They don't. They've never read, most of the left has never read Marx. And that's not necessarily their fault. Fuck, man. We could talk about literacy. Literacy is an issue. People don't have the time. People work all the time. Practical politics is an easy way to consume light theory sort of political shit. And that's not necessarily their fault, but that is just a reality, right? It's just the reality that no, people don't consume theory. They don't understand the theoretical backdrop in which they approach politics, right? Because what is practical politics as we know it, other than a very harsh, sort of crude application of theory, right? That's what it is. Hebrew? Oh, Hebrew. Okay, are you Israeli or Jewish? But yeah, sure. I'm still wrapping my head around political economy ideas. Yeah, that's probably how it's always been. When you were unionizing 1920s miners, those guys didn't. Yeah, absolutely. Rue Godzilla, peace. Can you break down your arguments from last stream? Absolutely. We've been talking a bit more about ideology and the political economy. We'll talk a little bit more on that, and then we'll move over into that. We can do that for sure. But yeah, guys, I think this is, again, we have the political economy and we have ideology. They're not totally separate. They influence each other a ton, right? But through language, we have at least accepted that they are separate entities, so we'll treat it like they're separate. They're not totally separate, right? I concede. I get it. We don't talk on the left. We don't talk enough about ideology. We really don't, because everything is quid pro quo in our political mind. Everything is the political economy, and it's everything may be the political economy in one context, right? And from the political economy stems ideology, right? But we don't talk about that next mode of analysis, that being ideology. Ideology is so fucking powerful. Right? And the left doesn't really do a lot. We don't have an analysis of ideology. Thus, I'm kind of worried we're struggling to find a cohesive way of creating new movements, right? Because we can't, guys, there's so many ways in which we don't, there's so many things in right now current leftist politics that is so clearly just overly ideological, but we're not able to recognize it because we don't have these discussions around ideology. I think one thing being the integration, the And I'm not saying identity politics is all bad, but I do have some qualms with identity politics as far as identity goes, right? So like Deleuze and Foucault sort of, they said emancipatory politics must go beyond identity, and it does. But what is a lot of left-wing sort of academic sort of approaches to politics, other than a lot of just pure identity, right? A lot of young people, though, today, a lot of young people reject that completely. They more merge identity and the political economy together, and that's great. That's wonderful. Identity is still important, but there are a lot of ideological tendencies that we're not able to completely sift through that are harmful, right? The constant weird Twitter drama, like, fuck me, man. Are you talking, like, pure, absolute ideology? Absolute fucking ideology. We're not able to completely work through those things because we're not having discussions past the political economy. Everything, in a lot of ways, in the leftist mind, is that it is all quid pro quo, and that is not true. It's not. It's quid pro quo to ideology, then ideology back to quid pro quo, and they reinforce each other, but we lose sight of that secondary factor that's involved, that being ideology, and that's so fucking important in my mind, and it really sucks. All right, so I think you guys get my point. We need to talk a little bit more about ideology. I don't even want to say we should talk less about political economy because it's still fucking really important. I'm glad. That is the greatest thing about the left in so many ways, but it's also our biggest crutch, right? It's wonderful the left talks about the political economy. Also, it's our crutch because it's all sometimes we talk about. All right. So we can break down the arguments from last stream for sure, and we can definitely do that. But I'll go down because that's going to take a while, so we might have to wait a little bit. Have a question about the video: socialism, scientific utopian. What do you think about Engel's assertion about feudalism being at the root of capitalism? I think that's right. Right? So like feudalism isn't feudalism, right? As a system, it's a developing system. All systems, including capitalism, are developing and changing. But the core basic fundamental way of feudalism was a very dichotomous relationship between classes, right? The lords and the serfs, right? And when towards the end days of feudalism, you're starting to see guilds pop up, and you're starting to see capital, small amounts of capital, like capital as we know it, start to accumulate. We saw the rural city divide, and what happens is we saw the creation of capital as we know it, and then early capitalism started. So yeah, I think the root of capitalism absolutely is feudalism. Literally, Lenin, each one, teach one. Really liking your content, by the way. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. How would you describe our current ideology? We have, okay, that's a very broad question, but really, so I like Zizek's approach to ideology. The prevailing hegemonic ideology is one of cynicism and like a reverse ideology, right? So we think of ideology being false consciousness when it's actually the opposite. Ideology is our consciousness, right? Ideology is how we navigate everything. Everything's ideological, right? So he uses the example of that movie where the dude puts on the glasses and he can see clearly. What that implies, when we think of ideology, we have these goggles that distorts our reality around us, and then we just got to take off the goggles. No, it's the opposite. We have a distorted reality, and we have to put on goggles to see our world around us, and I think that's correct. And then also, there's a couple other things. Ideology, guys, if we're materialist, this is the one thing materialism does very well. Guys, ideology isn't really what you think, it's what you do. It's how you navigate the world. Zizek points this out in The Sublime Object of Ideology, where a lot of people understand that a lot of the larger ideological ways of life, we get it. People aren't that stupid. People know money is just fiat. People know that it's like, man, advertising, that we know in some ways what they're trying to do, but it doesn't matter. We still go about our lives as if it's real. That, in my mind, that's the perfect They Live movie. That's right. That is the perfect definition of ideology. It's not what you think, it's what you fundamentally do, right? So I think that's like it's how we navigate our world is the ideology, and it'll always change for sure. People are still very static in their categories and ways of viewing the dynamics of ideology, political economy, race. How do we introduce dialectical viewpoints? Yeah, right. We haven't even right, guys. So we're talking about empiricism versus dialectics, guys. We haven't even. Isn't it mind-blowing, guys, that Hegel existed in the 1700s and the prevailing idea of logic or understanding isn't even in dialectics, right? And we're still talking about like Deleuze. I know there's a big critique that Deleuze actually still is a dialectician. I'm not very educated on Deleuze, so I can't say. I'm not a Deleuze scholar. I haven't really got to him yet. But there's a big argument that Deleuze is like post-dialectics. So we have empiricism that Engels calls Halockian metaphysics, which is the singular way of viewing things, and that's still the prevailing mode of logic. And what's even more disturbing, guys, people don't even know how to think in that way. So analytical philosophy, people still don't know how to think like that. People don't think logically. So like even bringing dialectics into the conversation, holy fuck, people couldn't handle that with our current rate of literacy, with our current rate of just education. Guys, we are fucked. We are behind. Holy fuck, man. Wow. Like, we can't even, you know what I mean? Like, who was that, David? Does that make sense? Like, look, we haven't even, like, approached a world that's even capable of, like, maintaining, like, the legitimacy of something like dialectics. People don't even know what the fuck it is. People don't even know what analytical empiricism is. We don't teach this stuff in school. We don't. It's fucking insane. Absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, logic is so dense for me, but I know I need to... So, logic really is not that hard to me. And that's why I see the value of analytical philosophy a ton. I think analytical philosophy should be one of the number one things we teach in school. Like, guys... Analytical philosophy could be taught in elementary school. I'm not even fucking around, right? People will go to college and they fucking flunk their philosophy classes because it goes around logic. Guys, this stuff, it's hard. It's hard because we've been conditioned to think in the most illogical ways possible. But it's like learning a language when you're really young, I think. If we can teach people how to think like this, we can teach analytical philosophy. I'm a continental philosophy fucking YouTuber. I prefer continental philosophy, but analytical philosophy is so fucking important. If we can teach these things at a younger age, holy fuck, guys, imagine. Not everything's going to be fucking perfect. We're not going to solve fucking everything, but fuck me, guys. Like, think about how different a lot of things would be. We can teach kids fucking logic. We can teach them fallacies. We can teach them fallacious reasoning. It's going to take a lot of work though, because most adults don't even fucking understand it, right? Talk about something truly revolutionary. That's revolutionary. Yeah, that's another thing too. Me and my brother have talked about this, guys. If they started teaching logical fallacies in elementary school, parents would get mad. Like, seriously, they wouldn't understand it, but they would get pissed. There would be a pushback against that from parents, from adults. If kids were taught logic in school, that would not go well. It would not go well. And that also, talk about pure ideology at that point. Wow, guys. Wow. Think about that. That if we were to teach something like logic in the public school system, that would not go well. It would piss a lot of people off. Think about that. I believe that 100%. I think a lot of people would be totally cool with it, but I think that would actually piss a lot of people off. Talking about straw man arguments, it would fundamentally break down everything, that the entire structure of guys, not to sound too dramatic, but civilization itself, like everything we kind of do, like it would break all of it down. Where do you find more freedom at logic with an unlogic asymmetry? I'm not exactly sure. Can you speak a bit about Hegel's spirit? So my understanding, Hegel's spirit is like the Geist, right? This is the ultimate being through the dialectical process. The top is the Geist, the spirit. Kids are so smart. Guys, they really are. They really are. Kids are nowhere near as dumb as what we fucking say they are. My entire life, look, kids are so smart. I'm not really one for homeschooling because I miss out on relationships. Yeah, right. The social education of school is actually arguably more important for sure. But I think we're entering another gilded age, and we need to teach our kids ourselves the system of. Yeah, I spent a lot of my childhood. I grew up in a sort of. I'm not gonna like. Right, like I try to have. I'm a pretty open book about a lot of things, actually. Like I don't struggle a lot with talking about personal stuff. Oddly enough, I don't know why. Some people do, some people don't. I guess I'm built that way. I don't know. Fuck. But I do like to maintain some privacy. So my entire childhood was me being kind of told I was a fucking idiot, and that by default adults were right. I think this is a childhood that a lot of people share, right? And I would be like 7 or 8 years old. I'm a kid. I didn't know too much. I'd be like 7 to 8 years old, and I would hear the way some adults were, and I don't think I'm special in this regard. I would hear some ways adults were talking about certain things, and I could see there was intrinsic issues, like there was issues about what they were saying, like, and I could see it, I could feel it. I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, this is false, right? This is objectively false, even as a fucking kid. And I understood that there was some, like, I could see contradictions. Kids are not dumb, guys. Kids are fucking smart. And the fact that the old way of parenting and stuff like that was to create a sort of hierarchical system where adults by default, you are the subject. Kids aren't. Guys, the way that I was raised in a lot of ways, I was property, I was not a human. That is just the raw fundamental truth. Was I was raised in a sense where I, by default, and this is how a lot of family structures are this way, I was fundamentally property, and I was subject to either a patriarch or a matriarch. That's how it was. I wasn't a human being in those lens. And I saw the fucking issue in that. Because like as a kid, you are not dumb, right? I felt autonomy as a kid. I felt like, and I could see the issue with that. I'm like, what do you, like, I knew that I was fundamentally treated like absolutely like dump truck property. Like I was just complete, like I was useless in a lot of people's eyes. I'm not going to say who, but, or whose. But that's how I was. That's sort of the structure in which I lived in as a kid, and I saw issues with that all the time. Not just that because it was hurtful, right? But just logically speaking, I was like, I'm not that much different than they are. Like I really fundamentally was not that much different. I saw how they acted. I saw how they still did things. I saw how they contradicted their own logic, right? So I was told as a kid to do certain things, and I would see adults and I would see people break those things. I would see them completely contradict what they told me all the fucking time, guys. All the time. So yeah, the quicker we fundamentally understand kids are not fucking idiots, in so many ways kids are way smarter than what we think. I think that would be a very fucking important thing to do, not only for the mental health of future generations, but for just the way of life, right? In which we can move humanity past this weird fucking stupid way of viewing, like raising children. I remember being in 3rd grade, already suspect of authority. Yeah, absolutely. I my entire childhood, guys, was just being absolutely suspect of authority, mainly because, guys, I saw contradictions with how authority worked, right? They would say, don't do these things. And they wouldn't say that, oh, it's not just you can't do these things because you're young. They would say these things are bad, but then they would fucking do it. They would create a moralistic, universal argument about something like, don't do this because this is bad. And then I saw adults do it all the time. The very people who told me not to do these things would do it. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, what the fuck? And so from that, then on, I had the same thing. I was always very skeptical of authority, always. And it got me in a lot of... I wasn't a bad kid. I was not a bad kid. I was pretty fucking tame. But I was treated like fuck. So in so many ways. Like and I like, it doesn't even bother me, right? It's more stupid. It's more like laughable now that I think about it. But even in high school, I was just a fucking moron in some people's eyes who were close to me, like absolute fucking moron. Like, and they had no, but here's the thing, I knew, is like, they just had no idea. They didn't know me at all. Like, you know what I mean? And I wasn't going to talk to them. Like, I wasn't going to share myself with people like that. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck would you? But that's the nature in which a lot of people, that's how kids are raised, and this is how kids and preteens and even teenagers navigate through life, right? That's exactly it. And kids are not stupid. All right. Kids are smart because they are not neck deep in ideology. That's another good point. Yeah, they're not as a lot of how adults say things, right? You hear from adults, you'll hear from when you're a kid, like, listen, you'll see the world more clearly, you'll understand this. It's the opposite, guys. When they say stuff like that, what they mean is that you will see stuff in the predisposed ideological lens that you're supposed to wear as an adult. Right? That's it. It's like, look, you'll see things more clearly. You'll understand when you're older. You're too young to understand. No, it's kind of the opposite. Kind of the opposite. There's an ideological tonality, and there's a lens. What they mean by you'll get older and understand it is you'll fit in within the ideological structure and the social order, perhaps. Company talks. I don't get it. In what ways do you think kids are smart? Oh my god, dude, kids are smart in almost every way. I mean, I don't even want to go. And the kids are inherently skeptical. Kids are really in tune with a lot of like emotional stimuli, right? Kids are fucking fast learners. Kids are able to decipher through like for us to learn stuff as adults is very difficult compared to a kid, right? When you're a kid, you can learn stuff. Kids are fucking geniuses compared to us in so many ways. Not in all ways, but in so many ways. Holy shit. My time as a kid in a Catholic kindergarten as a kid, that was raised agnostic pretty much was the thing that instilled anti-authority. Yeah. A lot of guys, this is a common theme, right? A lot of future lefties, it starts from a position as a kid of seeing the inherent flaws of authority as it is, right? I mean, talk about radicalization 101 is brain like a sponge. It's exactly it, man. Kids fucking learn shit like so fast. Absolutely. Smoking was bad though. Should have never started smoking. I smoked quite a bit as a teenager. I wouldn't do that now. If I have children, me and my girlfriend talk. It's like I want children, but guys, I'm gonna be real. We've had this discussion. I don't know if it's gonna be moral or the right thing to do to have children. I might just adopt kids because, with climate change, the way things are going, guys, especially the year 2020, if you think that this is bad, like 2020 was bad, guys, we'll probably have within 10 years, we'll probably have an even worse 2020. Will it get worse after that? I don't know, but we'll probably have something like this again. It'll probably be worse. So I have skepticism of I don't know if I'm going to have kids because of that. But if I don't, I'll probably adopt children. For sure. Yeah, usually kids see the world dialectically in a lot of ways. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kids can see opposites like no other, right? Holy fuck, man. Absolutely. But if I was younger, I would have if I do have children, I'm like, guys, don't smoke weed until you're like because there's a lot of evidence to say that it does affect the way your brain develops, and in my mind that's just like that is so much more important than being high, I think. At least for me. I'm not a big substance guy. I'm really not. Like, my biggest substance that I consume is fucking coffee. Like, I don't really smoke. I don't really drink all that much. I'm a little weird like that. I don't have any vices. Oh, I do have a vice. My vice is sugar. My vice is donuts, but in coffee. But that's about it. That's actually good. That's like best case scenario, except that I might get diabetes and die. That would suck. I'm not really going to, but I'm not addicted to alcohol, tobacco, anything like that. So that's good. That's good. Guys, is my autofocus fucked up? I need to figure out autofocus on these cameras. Listen, our new camera is like really high quality. Not to brag, but with high quality cameras comes having to learn how to actually fucking use it. And so sorry if what it does, it'll focus on that board and then it'll blur me out a little bit, and then yeah. Smoking weed gets you a psychosis sometimes, yeah. I mean, Don't they say fluid intelligent peaks around 30 to 35? Maybe, but I would be surprised. And brains aren't fully formed till 25. I know they say women are more mature by 1 or 2 years, but I don't think maturity is the same thing as intelligence. Certainly not. What camera you got? I got a really good deal on this. So guys, I've gotten bitched at. Matter of fact, I don't want to hear this in chat ever. Like, I'm sorry. If people get mad at me for the fucking gear that I have for production, you can fuck right off. Like, this is like the overwhelming majority of you guys are fucking wonderful and you're awesome. But I've gotten some shit from people like, dude, like you're not a full-time YouTuber yet you have all this expensive gear. Fuck off. I half the shit that I own is for like production, right? So fuck off. But I do have expensive shit. I have a Sony A6400 camera, very expensive, but I'm always a bargain shopper though. I always do that. That's another thing. So I got this camera used for very, very good price. Headphones are very expensive. This was a little bit of a treat to myself. This doesn't affect you guys too much. I can mix and edit my voice a little bit more clear, but you don't have to spend the amount of money that I spent on these headphones for good quality headphones that can help you mix, per se, mix or master, whatever. You don't need to spend that much money. This is a little bit of a treat to myself because I love audio. But yeah, I have I've heard there's a couple of people have commented on that, like, you're plugging your fucking Patreon, yet you own like all of these fucking things. I'm like, fuck off, man. I do this because I care about putting on the absolute, I care about production quality so much. And I know that's not everything, right? So for example, one of my favorite streamers is Tyler One. It's perfect. He's like a meta streamer, right? Tyler One has a shitty fucking microphone and he screams. He's got a shitty webcam, but it's on purpose. It's on purpose. It's part of his charm. It's part of his fucking magic, and I love it. It's wonderful. But for me, I love like technology, and I love learning like new stuff about it. So this stuff is really cool to me. So yeah, partially, yeah, like they're transparently jealous about you. I think that might be part of it. I think so, but that's okay. Gotcha. A60 6400 are pretty good. Shoot for will look like a movie for, yeah, the A7. Oh, that's so expensive. I can't justify a streaming camera though for that expensive. This is already like fucking insane. Reminded me of the Phantom of the Paradise. Yeah. You're reinvesting in your constant capital. Well, yeah, that's also another thing too, is like, this isn't like some, and it sucks to have to think in those lens, right? Part of this is I just love doing this, right? It's like everything is, hello, my girlfriend's right here with my cat. Here, put the cat on camera.
Hello, everyone.
This is my cat.
Look at her face. Oh my god, wait, why is she actually happy right now?
She is happy, huh?
All right, bye-bye.
So like I enjoy doing this shit, right? Everything about it, this is a project. I take shit really seriously too. I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to stuff. So it makes sense that I go into this. Like I have a CAD E100S. Dude, this microphone sounds so fucking good. Guys, like I love audio. I love good production. But I was severely impressed by your videos and their quality, even more when I saw you only had a few thousand followers at the time. Thank you. If production is bad, people will dismiss it. If it's too good, you are spoiled. I think that's exactly right. That's the shit that I get. But thank you so much, Linux. Or Linux, if I'm pronouncing that. Thank you. I appreciate that a ton. That cat does not look pleased, but I'm pleased to see the cat. That's exactly right. She's one of those sassy cats. She's not a very, listen, if she wants to be touched, if she wants to be pet, she'll let you know. Other than that, fuck off. That's kind of, she likes being around people. She just, don't you goddamn dare touch her when she doesn't want you to, but she likes to be around people. But do you teach or what? Do you just make, yeah, Jay Crass, so I'm a student, right? I'm actually on my last semester. I might have to take a summer semester. I don't know. On my last little go around, I'm a double political science and history major. And this is my income. So I used to have a research job at my university, and because of COVID and some weird things, I know that wasn't the only reason why I lost it. Okay, this is a longer story. I get into detail. My professor, guys, who I did a lot of research under, was very neoliberal, and I think she found my Twitter, and I don't think she liked it. Anyways, I used to have a pretty good research job. It's easy as fuck. And And it was wonderful. I had that for the longest time. And then this past fall semester at the beginning, she let me know, she's like, hey, you know, because of COVID cuts towards, there's been a lot of cuts towards university jobs. She's like, I'm going to go ahead and extend your research position to someone else because there's a lot of people. I did research for her for like almost 2 years. Makes sense. So I wasn't all too butthurt about it. I get it. She's like, there's a lot of students who could benefit from this, you know, doing research on their resume. She was really nice. She was really cool. She was like, let me know if you ever need like job recommendations. Like, I'll vouch for you. Really cool. I appreciated it. But I lost that. And so, she's a very nice woman. I think her politics are fucking insane. And I could go into detail sometime. But howdy Epoch and chat. Hello, Chiefy. Guys, round of applause for Chiefy, the main man, the main moderator of the stream. My friend. Chiefy's been with us since Twitch, by the way. He's an OG. But so I lost that, and I thought to myself, guys, I remember I think I've told some of you guys, like, shit, I'm fucked. Like, after I lost that job, I'm like, oh shit, guys, because I wasn't really making much money on YouTube at that point. And I was making like a couple dollars. I was just hit the monetization goal, just hit the monetization point at that time. And I was like, well, YouTube's probably done, because these videos, guys, it's not like this is an all or nothing endeavor, right? It's hard to explain. Some people, I've had some people tell me like, well, why don't you go to grad school and do this? I couldn't, guys. It's hard enough. Guys, it's hard enough doing what I'm doing. The only reason I'm still in school right now, I'm not going to lie, is because I'm just way too close to be finishing. I can't not get my degree at this point, right? I can't. I'm already done with my political science degree, so I could fuck off with my history one, and I could still get a poli-sci thing. But I'm so close that I'm like, I'm not going to give that up. But here's the thing. This is an all or nothing thing. And the reason for that is this is like a full-time gig. Doing the research, the scripting, the editing, guys, everything is so expensive and so time consuming that a lot of people think that like you could just have a full-time job, come home from your full-time job or come home from school and just do editing. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. Some videos you could, but the way that I edit and the way that I make my videos is it's very in-depth. It's not like there's a lot of YouTubers who make like, and this is fine, I envy them. They'll just make videos with like they'll just make pictures and slides and stuff, and that's great. That's wonderful. So it's like almost in podcast format in some ways, and that's great. I don't, though. I make, like, I put fancy visuals in my video, and I can't go back, right? Some people said that, like, why don't you just make videos like that? I can't. Like, guys, the reason why a lot of you guys are here is because of the visuals and because of all the fancy shit. And that's that's my brand. That's me at this point, right? I can't go back. I can't backtrack on quality. Like, how could I, like, and that would make me feel bad. I would feel like I'm accomplishing less or something like that. So when I lost my research job, I was like, YouTube's done. This is it. Like, I'm done. Like, I won't be able to do this. But I was like, all right, I'm going to try really hard. I'm going to try really hard to make the best videos that I can, see if I can sustain it right now. And that worked out. So I'm now making more money than I did as a research assistant, which was not shit. I don't make shit for money, guys, but I make more than I did doing research at my university. Is this enough to live on? Fuck no. And whenever I'm done with university, I'll have another one of those tipping points, right? Where it's like all or nothing, guys. So like whenever I'm done with university, guys, if I can't quite afford to live for the next 5 or 6 months, YouTube will be done, because I can't get a full-time job and do this. But I'm confident we can make it. I'm confident we can do this. I'm confident my channel will grow. I'm confident that we'll get a little bit more funding. But yeah, I think we'll do it. But yeah, it's one of those things. A lot of people think that it's like you can do YouTube both ways. It's not, man. It's not. It's truly an all or nothing ordeal. It's not something that you can just do. At least what I do, you can do on the side. And I know that sounds pretentious. I know that sounds like, oh, well, you know, you think you're so special. No, it's just like the nature of how I edit and stuff like that on After Effects. I put a lot into the production, and it's like, it takes a lot of time, for sure. So yeah, that's my little, I think that's my little story of how this is all starting to go together. But yeah, this is my only income. And it's doing all right. Since I'm in school, I'm doing okay. But whenever I'm at school, when I'm out of school, we got a whole different ball game. But yeah. I thought about doing grad school, but there are no jobs on the other side. Phil here. Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, with grad school, you can move up the chain of whatever job you can get quicker. But that's about it, right? Please go on about her crazy politics. Oh yeah, grad school is too much. My research professor was kind of like I think she has so she had a discussion with me, guys. I didn't realize how like corporate like her politics were. She asked us, me and this other student, why do young people, this is during the Democratic primary, why do young people hate Pete Buttigieg? And I explained exactly why. How as mayor, he ignored a lot of police issues. He sold public land for real estate development. And she like looked at me like that was like the most logical thing to do. Like she was like, how is that a problem? I was like, what? Could she be listening? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, if she is, that's fine. I'm not going to give her name at all. Like, that's the last thing I'm going to do. She's a nice woman. She's a very, very nice woman. But I think her politics are shit. And I would tell her that. I would tell her that completely. But I think, if I'm understanding her, I don't have the best grasp of her politics. But if I'm remembering right, I think she's very much a very centrist Democrat. A very, I would say, right-wing Democrat when you look at the actual larger spectrum as a whole. And I think it's pretty bad politics. But yeah. But very nice woman. Definitely. I in some ways, she's got a PhD in political science. It really confuses me how a lot of these people come to these conclusions. But also, she grew up. I think she went to school during like the Reagan Revolution, guys. Like, and she's around my parents' age, and it's a different time, right? We are in a completely different time. Well, yeah, I have no idea how to balance studying something that I love and actually like having a good live. Yeah, it's hard to do these things, So, how do streams affect that balance? So, what streams do, it depends. I used to, guys, when I streamed on Twitch, I would stream for like 8 hours, and I was expected to stream. I put that on myself, but I realized that doing streams that were shorter was still okay. It was still okay, and I like doing shorter streams. Like, I like, the average stream to be around 2 hours or so. About 2 hours or so. And, yeah, I think that's a good time. And also, now that there's more of you guys, I used to play a lot of games on Twitch. I still will play games on here, but not very often. I like having conversation with you guys more. And on Twitch, I didn't have a viewership at all. I didn't, like, moving my streaming onto YouTube, guys, saved streaming for me. Why do you name your channel Epoch Philosophy? Well, I was thinking about a name. I was like, all right, I'm going to make a channel that goes like a lot into philosophy and theory. And I just came to Epoch because it's like, Epoch is a certain point in history. Thus, you can say like, I don't know. It sounded cool. And it's like, all right, it kind of made sense that like, what is philosophy other than like an analysis of thinking in a certain time, in a certain historical human period? That's it. Nothing too special. It mainly just sounded cool. And it made a little sense. Did lights flicker? What? Where? What? It sounded like...
It was like a big, like...
Oh, I think there might have been a gunshot outside my apartment, guys.
It's not like far away, but...
Okay. Huh. I do not live in a bad area, which is weird, but yeah. Where I used to grow up, there would be gunshots. Not frequently. Not like, I don't think there was violence frequently. I think people just shoot their guns and shit. Like, but yeah, lots of gunshots where I grew up, but not around here. I live in a way better area. Anyways, hey, be careful. Are you leaving? Okay. All right. So what were some of the questions? I like the dialogue here. Hell yeah. I love the streams you're doing at the time, and that is also because they are just 2-hour combos. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I've gotten a lot of praise on streams. A lot of people say they like really enjoy my streams a lot, and that's really cool because I enjoy doing it as well. A lot of people are like, dude, your streams are like I've been told like your streams are like one of the best because you can like interact and shit like that, and that's awesome. That's really cool. I like that, and it's a lot of fun for me. Pete was super timid, can't vote for someone with no spine. Well, he is the quintessential career politician I don't think he really has politics, right? He doesn't really have a moral system that much. Like, really, like, truly, this is a career to him, for sure. I think that's all that it is. I really don't understand how people can enjoy learning in an academic setting. Yeah, it's schoolwork can ruin a lot of shit. We need to fundamentally change in the way we approach education, right? Like, bad, guys. Like, education's not in a good point right now. With technology, we could be doing a lot more with education, and we don't. And it's because the world doesn't want to change. We don't want to change. This is just kind of, if there is human nature, if it does exist, one thing that is for certain, if that's true, is that fuck, man, people don't like change as much as we may think, and that's one of those things. Academia appeals to such a small percentage of the population, only to those who have the... Yeah, so not only, like, we're talking, like, psychologically, but more than that, I would say economically, materially, right? Like, people can't... Guys, the only people who can really... Okay, you can tell education was made for people to go off to college, and that's the only thing that they would do. That is it. That's it. Guys, that is, like, what is more... There is nothing... Okay, listen. Argue with me about anything. That I will not be argued with. That is the entire structure of our education system, post-high school, college, is a system where people go somewhere, and that is all that they do. But that's not the case anymore. Kids have to work. Students have to work. They have things outside of that. So it's structured. Education is fundamentally structured for rich people. It's fundamentally structured for students who that's all that they do. That's it. That's the entire structure of education. That is it. That is the fucking totality of the form of education. It has not changed. It's fucking ridiculous. Now, we have a couple options. The best short-term option is to change it so it can adapt to this new, very capitalist world, this productive world that we live in now that really sucks, and make it easier for people. Or we fucking off our entire fucking mode of economics as we know it. We move towards socialism. And you know what? Under a socialist system, people could fucking do this stuff. They could fucking do this. They could dedicate their lives to education. Holy fuck, man. God damn. And I'm talking, that's a long-term project. That's not like we could do this tomorrow or whatever. But like, theoretically, that is a system past capitalism would be able to facilitate. It's really interesting how this works, guys, where education is set up in a very almost socialistic manner in some ways, right? It relies on the point where that's your main focus, right? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. My dad paid for his dude, yes. My dad paid for his college working at Sears selling. Fuck yes. That's all. A lot of people my dad didn't even take out student loans. My dad's dad paid for his college as well. Yeah. I've had no help with college tuition at all. I'm fucked. I'm way down the can of fucking like student loan debt, but everyone is. I don't fucking care. Fuck it, man. I don't care. I cared immensely. So I went to school for free for 2 years at community college. And then whenever I started taking on loans, I was like, fuck. And it stressed me out until I just like snapped. I was like, I can't stress about this. It's just my life. I can't. Doesn't matter. Like I have to, this is it. Like this is the economic order as it is. So sorry. Damn, I missed the first hour. You didn't miss too much. But yeah, you could always go back, rewatch. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have to go to some university. Right. In a lot of ways, the form of education would be different. But we could, in a socialist system, the form of education would be able to work better. Right? No, guys. I was a good student in community college, and I got scholarships. I was a good student, and my mom did not make much money, and the fact that my mom did not make much money, my Pell Grants covered it, and then, on top of it, I got paid to go to community college. It was pretty sick, guys. So, like, I had, my Pell Grants covered all my tuition. I lived at home, and then I made really good grades, and I applied for scholarships, and it was the biggest scholarship that they offered, and they paid for all my tuition. So I had all my tuition paid for, and then the Pell Grants went back to me, and I got paid to go to school. It's pretty fucking sick. It was awesome. But yeah, I was a good student in community college. Try to be the best student that I am now, but I don't make grades like I did in community college, guys. I graduated with like a 3.7 or some shit. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. How would you make academia more accessible in capitalism? Oh, fuck me. I don't know. That's a hard question. I think it would be, I think the framing of that question might be wrong. It's like, how do we mold capitalism to education, right? And in that sense, I think the conclusion is to completely get away from capitalism. Right? So it's like we can't mold true education to capitalism. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. Yeah. So I think it's almost the opposite. How do we mold capitalism to education, or how do we move past capitalism to facilitate real? Now, when I say real, it's not like we don't have real education now. It's just not anywhere near as efficient. What do you guys all think about Tulsi Gabbard? Tulsi Gabbard sucks. She fucking blows, dude. Hi, Dad. Hunter Hewlett. Hello. How's it going, my friend? And I say that because I think Tulsi Gabbard is a little bit of a charlatan. I liked Tulsi Gabbard in like 2016 when she dropped her chair to endorse Bernie Sanders. That's pretty fucking crazy. I gotta be real, but she's very grifty, and I get very grifty vibes. I get very charlatan vibes from her. She goes with the flow of how things go about. Also, guys, she took quite a bit of, so she endorsed Bernie in the sense that he was anti-corporate and stuff, but then she took her congressional races, guys. You can go look it up. You can look it up. She took a lot of corporate money for her congressional races. How? So in a number of ways, right? So she has really, really, really odd views that seem to shift as time. She's very inconsistent. Right at the beginning of her career, she was very, very one of the more opposed people towards like the LGBTQ plus community. And then she became a part of the LGBTQ plus caucus, I believe, in the Democratic Party, which is great. It's great. But I think what that shows is I think Tulsi Gabbard's a bit... I don't think she's someone like Bernie. She's not someone that has... Her moral impetus to politics changes a lot quicker than I think a lot of people would admit, right? So here's something else. Tulsi Gabbard represents... I think someone coined this, and they said hipster politics. And something like she got one good position, which is the anti-war. Yes, and that's true. That's good, right? Tulsi Gabbard isn't like all bad, right? She's better than a lot of politicians. Didn't support gay marriage, company talks. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Tulsi took the Prager pill a little bit. That's kind of it. No, fuck no. Clinton and Obama are terrible. They're worse than Tulsi Gabbard, right? I think. But anyways, I forgot what I was going on about. Shit. Yeah, so her anti-war position, she's still supported. So she's actually not as anti-war as what you would think. She still supports drone, and hey, this is Bernie as well. I think Bernie supports this too. But she still supports drone strikes in the Middle East from a lot of positions that I've heard. So someone coined the term something like hipster politics. People like Jimmy Dore, where it's just like there's no structural analysis. It's just like this is bad, like this. There's no structural form into which they approach politics, and Jimmy Dore embodies that a lot. I think is the most hipster politics, and that's a good way to describe it, right? It doesn't mean anything. It's something that it's a politics that is so almost radically elastic that it just doesn't exist. And I find Tulsi Gabbard to be that way. Like, look at Tulsi Gabbard supporters in a lot of ways, guys. They talk about like all of these things, you know, they're like anti-establishment, this and this and this and that, but it doesn't mean anything, right? Like they say they're anti-establishment. What does that fundamentally mean? What do you mean anti-establishment? It's like a lot of hipster rhetorical points that there is no concrete grounding in, right? Well, ISIS doesn't really exist. I don't think we should do drone strikes at all. I mean, ISIS is a threat. I mean, not really. Like, ISIS, if anything, is a threat because we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, right? We facilitated the growth of terrorist organizations. Hunter Hewlett, you said my name correctly. Yeah, I actually had a friend. I had a really close friend when I was young. His last name was Hewlett. Bye-bye. You be safe. Where you going? Okay. All right. Sorry, my girlfriend's leaving. Dropout here, imploded under pressure of debt and poor work-life balance. Always have to earn money. A lot of people, it's yeah. It's a sad reality, my friend. What do you mean ISIS doesn't exist? Well, so the form of ISIS is not anywhere near. ISIS is a struggling terrorist organization. It's not like that they don't exist, but compared to what they were in like 2014, 2015, yeah. But really, what's even more important, even if ISIS was a pretty big threat, I think the most fundamentally important thing that you could do is to get our extremely large military presence out of these countries, and our approach to the sort of forever war apparatus as a whole. In a lot of ways, America represents not only a material threat to these people, but also, I think, in the most damaging way, a symbolic threat, right, to their way of life, right? The one thing about ISIS, I will concede it's a unique threat in the sense that ISIS is a global caliphate, right? And what that, for some of you who don't know what that means, like what they want is they want world Islam, right? They want a very radical form of a certain Islamic mode of whatever, right? They have global scope. Something like Al Qaeda and the Taliban, they're regional. They don't care. They don't care about having a global order of Islam. They're regional. They just want to be able to control and live the life that they want to do in these certain regions. It doesn't mean that their way of life is all that great, right? They're pretty brutal. They're pretty terrible to women. So that sucks. But it's a little bit different than ISIS. I will concede. But yeah. But if anything, we give ISIS a ton of fundamental ideological firepower as the U.S. AQ is literally Al Qaeda is literally no. They operate that's not true. Al Qaeda operates internationally, right? They'll do stuff internationally, but their goal is regional. They don't want to take over the world. They've said this explicitly. I took an entire fucking, and this is actually a good class. I took an entire terrorism and political violence class. This is one of the biggest things that we learned about is the fundamental goals of a lot of at least the shit that I learned in class, it's not true. Al-Qaeda and Taliban are different? Yeah, no. Listen, yeah, I know this. I'm dumb in some ways, but that was one class that stuck with me a lot. My last name is really uncommon. Yeah, a little bit. Has Biden said anything about Afghanistan? No, I think he delayed the if anything, Biden's going to double down on being in Afghanistan, which fucking sucks. Listen, IVC and fucking Africa, chill. They operate internationally, absolutely, but their goal isn't a global order of Islam. According to everything that I've seen, their goal is to establish an area where they can practice, they have fundamental independence, but they don't want a global order. That is different from ISIS, in which ISIS has said that they want to completely overturn the world on its head and create a global order of Islam, where everyone is subjected to that religion and that way of life. Al-Qaeda and Taliban, from the class that I took, they want something more regional. They want their own independence in a certain area. They will allow people to live the lives that they do. They operate internationally because they're under attack, right? Yeah, it's funny that most of us, if you lived in that area, yeah, and you saw that's what I mean. The ideological firepower the U.S. gives to these organizations is the fact that they see their entire families get destroyed by an empire like the United States, and that's what we are. We are a pretty fucking terrible, evil empire in a lot of ways. Absolutely. I think it's still funny that Taliban and ISIS fought. Absolutely, yeah. What do you think is the motivation of ISIS then, and what do you think can be done about preventing future terrorism from occurring? Well, that's definitely a hard question. I think Okay. Will radical organizations sort of always exist in some facet, especially in a place like the Middle East where religion is very important? Yeah, probably. But ISIS would not have existed without the power vacuum that existed in the Middle East, whether that be Libya, whether that be Iraq and portions of Afghanistan. That wouldn't have happened, I don't think. We never saw this problem when the Middle East was far more stable. This never happened. Yeah, we've killed millions in the region over decades. Who can blame them? Absolutely. It's like, it's a very natural thing. Not only is it's not only deeper than seeing your family members get killed. Guys, ISIS operates a little bit like a business too. ISIS has, guys, in this class, they have a human resources department. I'm not even fucking around. ISIS has a human resources department. So what this is this is a mode of employment. It's a way of surviving for a lot of these people, right? Because the Middle East has been crippled so fucking hard because of Western powers. It's really bad. International is because of U.S. imperialism, but ISIS is somehow more guided by imperial ideology. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean that's what I took for. Yeah, absolutely. That was like that was a huge part of the class. Is that, look, these organizations are different. They have different goals. Al Qaeda isn't necessarily. They don't want to instill a global order of Islam. That's not the point. Same with the Taliban. They want a regional caliphate. Is what they would call it. Is they want something that is much more regional and concrete, and they want their own independence. ISIS is much more imperialistic with their ideas. They want a global order. They want the entire world. If it's not under, I hate saying this because it feels like it's been so hijacked from conservatives, but if it's not under Sharia law, a government, stuff like that, they'll fight till it does. But ISIS is not very powerful right now, from my understanding. They're in a pretty bad fucking spot. They still are a thing, but yeah. We should pick a new subject than Tulsi drone striking, flip-flopping ass, or peace in the Middle East. Let's get back to ideology. We could go somewhere else. But yeah, we'll get back to the concrete point of this discussion. Is that Tulsi, guys? If you look at it, she's a little bit more. And I don't say this as some like spiteful. Like, there's a lot of like spiteful like cult of personalities. Tulsi Gabbard has a giant following, a cult of personality, for sure. And a lot of what Tulsi Gabbard talks about and does, it's very, very, she flip-flops a lot. And it's not to say that Tulsi Gabbard is like all bad, right? Absolutely not. There's a lot of politicians who do this, and this is just the nature of politics for a lot of things. But I think Tulsi Gabbard is one of those, she's one of those like hipster political entities, right? In which they have this like anti-ideological tonality that is incredibly ideological, ironically, and a lot of their politics is very vague, and it's just like anti-establishment, right? A lot of it doesn't mean anything in the US, yeah, especially Tulsi, but it's because I think Tulsi is I think of Tulsi, and again, I'm not making moralistic judgments like, oh, this is all bad. I'm not. But I think objectively speaking, Tulsi Gabbard is far more right-wing than a lot of people think, especially on like a lot of cultural issues and stuff like that. Like, guys, she ballot harvesting, she thought ballot harvesting was a fucking issue, guys. Ballot harvesting's not an issue. Guys, driving to drop off someone else's ballot, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's what, by the way, that's what ballot harvesting is, guys. A lot of people don't know this. They're like, she went on an entire campaign saying how bad ballot harvesting was. I'm like, guys, and a lot of people thought that ballot harvesting was like taking someone else's ballot and like rewriting it. No, that's not what it is. Ballot harvesting is where people take ballots of people who like can't leave the house and then they drop it off for them. That's all that is. In a country that has almost no transportation, we have, like, guys, the United States public transportation system doesn't exist, really. In a world where people can't afford cars a lot of the times, guys, ballot harvesting's not a fucking issue. If anything, the act of ballot harvesting's good. It allows people to get involved in politics more easily. And it's like mind-blowing. What it was is I think Tulsi Gabbard, guys, I shit you not. I shit you not. I think Tulsi Gabbard might run as a Republican very soon. Now, hold on here, though. A lot of people are like, oh, well, a lot of people come to the conclusion that that's bad. I don't know how much she'll change her views. Theoretically, if Tulsi Gabbard was to run as a Republican right now with her policies right now, that'd probably be a good thing. It would probably move the Republicans in a better direction. I'm not going to lie. But here's the thing. If she runs as a Republican because of the way Tulsi operates, I think Tulsi Gabbard would totally change her political views in a lot of ways. I don't think she would stand for a lot of things that she does. But guys, I shit you not. She may not. Do not be surprised if Tulsi Gabbard runs as a Republican very soon. Really. I would not be shocked whatsoever. I think a lot of people have talked about this too, and I would not be shocked. If she had her political positions and they didn't change and they're at the point that they are now, she'd be one of the more progressive Republicans, and that's great. That's fine. I'm not opposed. I think a good idea might be to join the Republican Party in a lot of ways. Like a good electoral strategy would be like really progressive, like socialists joining the Republican Party and just like, I that's not a bad strategy, right? I think it would be more effective to make a cohesive third party, but yeah. Can you explain to what you mean by religion can naturally lead to terrorism? Did religion can naturally lead to terrorism? I don't. Did I say that? Anyways, I mean that's true. All right. That is true. Religion can lead to terrorism. Political ideology can lead to terrorism. Anything can really lead to terrorism. As far as ideology goes, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, I almost feel like that's kind of common sense, maybe, but I don't know. Could be wrong. Are you a coffee nerd? Do you have a favorite coffee roast / region? Yeah, I'm a huge coffee nerd, dude. Dude, I love all coffee. Guys, some of my favorite coffee is dark roast. A lot of coffee connoisseurs, they like scoff at people who like dark roast, and the reason why is because dark roast, you're paying for, they roast it so heavy that what you're paying for is a carbon flavor of coffee, right? So a lot of dark roast coffee, guys, is cheaper because they can use cheaper beans and they roast it really heavy, and that's how dark roast works. But I still love dark roast. I still do. I still really like it. And a lot of coffee connoisseurs hate it. Anyways, but I love it all. Like, I like light roast. I like medium roast. I just like good coffee in general. Right now I'm drinking a light roast. I'm almost out, but I drink a lot of I've been now making a lot of I always do pour over coffee most of the time, but this is a Hario cotton filter. So it's a way of making cotton filtered coffee, and what that does is paper coffee can create a very bright flavor, but the reason why it creates bright flavor, the body tastes, it has a body that feels like tea, that tastes like tea, that has a feeling of tea to it, but it tastes like coffee. And that's because the oils of coffee get sort of dispersed. The paper filter catches a lot of the oils, where if you use a French press or a metal filter for pour over, the body of coffee is much like deeper. It's because the oils can come through. Cloth filter, you have some of the brightness of a paper filter pour over, and then you have some of the oils come through in the cloth filter. So it's like this big medium ground between a metal filter and a paper filter, and I like it. I think it tastes pretty good. Anyways, back to, more problems in the mainstream. They acknowledge a lot more. All of these progressives are firmly stepped in capitalist realism. Yeah, and a lot of, and these people won't save us. So what do you mean by that? Who are these people? Are you talking about like AOC, the Squad, stuff like that? They acknowledge a lot more problems than the mainstream Democrats and Republicans, but they absolutely fail to or choose not to connect said problems with their mode of production. I think in some ways, okay, we can. This is a good little discussion point. God damn, when I talked about coffee, guys, everyone left. I went from 43 viewers within like 5 minutes to like 33. Holy shit. Anyways, I'll shut the fuck up about coffee. Okay, this is true in some ways, but by action and not by ideology. So I listen. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I think AOC. I think Jamal Bowman. I think Cori Bush. I don't think they're capitalist. I don't. I actually think they're, ideologically speaking, they're socialist. But they operate as social democrats because they're constrained to a material system that is very capitalist. And so I think they operate as social democrats. Bernie Sanders, a lot of people have said this. I think Bernie Sanders is an actual, like, I think he is far more left. He is far more anti-capitalist, and I think that he wants to let on, but he can't. He can't go further than that. I think they realize that if we're going to operate in electoral politics, it's going to be something more gradual, right? Like, truly, guys, electoral politics, there is no fast tracking electoral politics. If we want quick change, it will not happen through electoral politics. Now, I disagree. A lot of people say nothing will change under electoral politics. I think that's fucking bullshit. I think that is fucking bullshit. There is not one good fucking argument I have heard that what I hear a lot is that everything will just be the same under electoral politics. Listen, I know we're a continental philosophy channel, guys, and we don't look at stuff analytically all the time. That is just fucking objectively false. A neoliberal is different than a fascist. A social democrat is different from a fucking neoliberal. There are differences, and differences happen, and they develop through electoral politics all the fucking time. I fucking hate this. It is a terrible argument. We can say that change doesn't happen enough, and that's fine. I agree. I completely agree. There are massive limits to electoral politics. Massive, and we should point this out. But to say that nothing fundamentally changed is fallacious fucking logic. It is not. It is objectively not fucking true. Okay? I fucking hate hearing this because it's just wrong, right? And when we're not specific with our language, it fucking hurts us. I get very intense about this because this is something I fucking hate. I hate hearing this. Exactly. Unfortunately, right-wingers and fascists understand this. This is true. This is true. They understand this. And so, yes, electoral politics is radically insufficient at creating a better world, 100%. But change happens within electoral politics. So I think, listen, now where I stand on electoral politics, it's a little bit light. I don't have a huge, I don't think electoral politics is very, very effective, guys. It's just not. Right? I agree. It's not effective that much. Like, direct action, mutual aid, organization is so much more effective, and it's what we should focus on absolutely more. Now, should we abandon electoral politics? No, not completely. But should we focus on it as much as we do? Probably not. Probably not. The questions of the political realm around us are very much deeply embedded in the political economy, and a lot of the political economy affects the way people like AOC, Bernie Sanders, Jamal Bowman can operate, Cory Bush, and it's because they have to operate as social democrats. For change to happen in pure electoral form, it happens slow. And that's not good enough. It's not. It's not good enough because we're going to fucking die. Like, climate change will fucking kill us if we operated purely through electoral politics. But that is not to say, let's be specific with our fucking language. Oh my God, I hate this. I hate this so much. Let's be specific. Electoral politics is stuff still changes through electoral politics. That's not objectively true. It's objectively false to say nothing changes. It's objectively false to say neoliberal is the same thing as a fascist. It is objectively false to say social democrats are like secret neoliberals. Oh my God, guys, what a fucking idiotic. I hate this. I hate this. And I hear it all the fucking time. It's just not true. But yes, but yeah, that's exactly true. Our problems will outpace electoral politics. Absolutely. 150%. Unfortunately, right? Yeah. I agree, but they will never overcome capitalism. Yeah, electoral politics is actually probably completely insufficient at overcoming capitalism in some ways. So I'm not totally convinced that electoral politics can't overcome capitalism. Rather, it's going to take a long time. And it won't happen, right? That I don't I think the question of whether electoral politics is capable of overcoming capitalism or it will is two different things. Do I think electoral politics is capable of overcoming capitalism? Yeah, like in a perfect world, I could see where electoral politics in the long run might, but we're in such a mode of crisis that won't happen. We will escape capitalism if we do, and it's not going to happen via pure electoral politics. Please play New Vegas, Father. I might play some. Take action from within and from the outside. Yeah, I think that's probably the best approach, but we should focus far more on direct action. Absolutely, and organization. Far more. Absolutely. I got banned from some communist subs. Guys, I got banned from Communism 101. So, true story, guys. I got banned from Communism R101 when someone asked about what to. I shit you not. I got banned for this. Someone was asking, hey, book recommendations and communist are like, or not. It was r/communism. I got banned. They were like, hey, what are some good book recommendations? What do I think about, And I said, what is a good idea to do is to read an introductory to Hegel before you go into Marx. I said, read an introduction book there's a good book by Peter Singer. I suggested that, and I got banned for idealism. That's literally what they said. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you, like, I got banned for that? For suggesting that people read Hegel along Marx so that they can understand what dialectics means? Are you fucking serious? Yeah, but I got banned from r/communism. Hey man, legit love your channel, but your streams are better when you don't sound like a Vosh. Fucking this, fucking that. Listen, man, I'm sorry. This is just do you have problems with cuss words? I don't mean that facetiously. I'm just asking. I cuss. Listen, I'm a passionate man. This is me. This is me in my entirety. I'm sorry if you don't like it. I can try to work with you guys. If there's something you guys don't like, I'll hear you out. But this is me. Yeah, like Marx was a Hegelian in a lot of ways. Yeah, in a lot of ways he shits on Hegel, right? Especially in the German, especially this book right here. Listen, Marx and Engels really want to kill the father Hegel, but they can't quite escape him. They can't. They try. Hegel's a little bit too encompassing, and that's fine. That's okay. Materialism is fucking wonderful, though. I mean, I like Marx was right when he said the baseline of everything is sort of material. I'm there. I'm a materialist in that sense. But does Hegel have really good points as far as idealism and like how consciousness affects stuff? Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think, guys, through the process of materialism, okay, through the process of materialism, we're at the material. This is ground zero. From there, consciousness is developed. And then I think once we hit this level of consciousness from materialism, there's a process that happens. And I think after that process, we get to a point where it's hard to discern between idealism and materialism. It's hard to do that. And so what happens is through the process, I'm a materialist in the sense that I think material's ground zero. But through this process, idealism and materialism tend to become a false dichotomy, right? Through the original Marxian viewpoint of materialism, Marx could have never predicted how well capitalism sells lifestyles, guys. Like, we can't account for Goop, that brand, Supreme. We can't account through raw materialism. There is an ideological tonality that affects the material around us. Absolutely, we can't avoid this. But is material ground zero? Yes, I'm still a materialist in that sense. Nothing. Love you, man. Nothing. Oh no. Yeah. Cussing's fine. I sound like a Vosh. Guys, I don't watch a lot of Vosh. Okay, we can talk about this too. I've been eager to talk to you guys. I've recently started watching Vosh more because people like are always shitting on him. Guys, I don't see what's that bad about Vosh. I don't like. Guys, I'm really fucking. I'm confused. Can someone tell me? Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what Vosh has done other than I think people said that he like defended pedophilia or some shit. That's fucked. Like, that's whatever. But from what I've seen from Vosh, I haven't actually seen anything bad. He seems like really like way more left wing and reasonable than I thought I would. Yeah. So how do I sound like Vosh? I'm so confused and I'm concerned because everyone hates Vosh, but I think it's a little bit of a circle jerk hate circle because that happens a lot. That happens a lot on the internet. So I don't know, but I've watched a little bit of him lately, and he like guys, I was shocked. Like, he said Biden is what? Was that a troll? Was he trolling? And just flames people. He even equated buying a PC with child pedophilia. To me, that is so weird because he does not. From everything that I've seen from him, that seems totally opposite of like what I've seen. But I don't watch Vosh. That could totally be right. I know Hakeem had issues with his theory, but I never actually watched any of that. Okay, I watched some of his stuff with the with Zoe something. I think she was an anarchist. She makes anarchist videos or stuff. Vosh as terrible takes is not a comrade. Dude is literally trying to make Sockdem Voshianism. I'm not even kidding. He's super toxic. The one stream that I did see, again, this is so weird. Everything I hear about again, I haven't watched him a lot. I probably need to watch more. The one stream that I did see, he was shitting on social democracy, saying it's not good enough though. So I'm just a little confused. Zoe Baker, that's right. Yeah. Guys, I would love to have Zoe Baker on. Can we make that happen? Can we make that happen? Does she have her DMs open? George Dick the Third. Dick, I don't know. Sorry for sabotaging your stream with coffee talk. No, not a problem.
Sabotaging your stream with coffee talk.
No, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that a ton. Always helps a ton. No, do not apologize at all. Thank you, my friend. I have room on the board. You're going to make it up on the board. So anyone else who wants to donate or do whatever, I got room on the board. All right. Wait, Jeff Bezos to step down as Amazon CEO? I wonder what he's going to do next. Anyways, not that big of a deal, but that's kind of a big deal. Zoe is the non-anarchist anarchist, I think. That's interesting. I'd be curious to Zoe Baker. I follow her. I would love to I'd love to have her on. I would absolutely love to have Zoe Baker on. He's just a React Anthony who uses Marxist phrases to appear edgy. Like, he's very anti-reading books for whatever reason. Ooh, Vosh's? Well, that's shit. No, you should absolutely read books. This is something where you don't have to read books to be a good organizer, per se, to be politically effective and stuff. But to understand Marxism, yeah, you gotta read. Guys, like, it sucks. It sucks. To truly, like, really understand a lot of where Marx is coming from, you gotta read Marx. It sucks. It sucks. I hate that. In a perfect world, you wouldn't have to. You kind of got to, guys. Can't escape it. Listen, you gotta fucking read the dude. Wait, what? I was hoping you were going to say die. Yeah, me too. That would have been a lot better. I would have been just as happy. Or actually, sorry. Not just I would have been a lot more happy. Fuck Jeff Bezos. He can go fuck himself. I'm an Amazon affiliate, guys. I'm an Amazon affiliate. I have an affiliate link. Yeah, I have an affiliate link because we can't escape Amazon, right? I use Amazon all the time because it's the most efficient way that I can, like, purchase things. And it's the cheapest. I'm poor, and it's the cheapest in a lot of cases. So I have an affiliate link because I know a lot of people are probably in that same seat. And I have the affiliate link because I think, in my mind, if they have to pay me when you're making purchases, if you buy outside of Amazon for that reason, continue to do so. Do not get on the Amazon platform because I have a fucking affiliate link. Do not do that. But if you are like me and you just can't escape Amazon, you use it all the time, use my link. They got to pay me money. Listen, they don't get off for free. I have made a decent amount of money from people doing this. It helps me keep this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Vosh says never read theory because it's tanky or something. That's really weird. One of the other things that I saw from Vosh is he actually read some Lenin. I think he read leftist what was it? Left Communism and Infantile Disease, and I think he was making arguments about electoral politics and stuff. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know enough about Vosh, and because of that, I did start to watch him a little bit more because everyone fucking hates this man, and I wanted to know a little bit more. I don't watch a lot of political streams, or I really don't. I don't have time, and sometimes I think they're really ineffective at what they do sometimes. So, not to shit on anyone, but that's kind of the conclusion I come to at times, you know. Here's the link of Vosh equating buying PC to pedophilia. If you don't believe me, yeah, please let's link that. I'll watch it. Please do. We'll watch this on stream. I want to see that. That's pretty bad. I see a lot of his Twitter. A lot of like on Twitter. I tend to agree with him as far as like a lot of like weird left shit goes on. But yeah. Can you put a link? People have said that they can't link anything in chat, and that's really weird. I don't know why. You guys can always join the Discord. I'll open up my Discord. You guys can always join the Discord anytime you guys want. You can post a link if you guys want me to watch anything, stuff like that. I'm more than happy to do that. Okay. You can't see a link here. Yeah, a lot of people have reported that. Yeah, that they can't link stuff, and that's weird. I don't like that. I want you guys to be able to put links in here. Granted, I know spamming links is a big problem for some streams, but yeah. So Vosh buying PC pedo. I'm just gonna type that in. Equates buying. Okay.
Okay, so if you were to, there's pedophiles, right, who buy child pornography. Would you say they should not be held responsible for doing that?
Yes.
Wait.
Really? Even though they're directly supporting child.
Wait.
Yeah. I think it's hypocritical.
Oh wait.
If because I bought my computer and the silicon in it was farmed in Africa by slaves. If I can do that and that's legal and no one's going to call me out on my shit, then yeah, I have to be consistent in that respect.
Okay, look, I think there's levels to this. So I wouldn't equate buying a computer to buying child pornography.
Oof, guys. Hey, that's me. Oof. Oh my god. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I don't even know. Silicon's not mined in Africa. I think silicon is mined in Africa, actually. Yeah, there's silicon mines in Africa, I'm pretty sure. And the Middle East. And in South America. That's bad. That's really bad, actually. Holy fuck. Yeah, I'm a little lost for words. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to respond to that. That's just really, really bad. I get so I get the approach. Listen, I get the approach. Listen, that if this might get me in trouble, I don't know, but I get the approach that sometimes like we should approach pedophilia as a disease, something that's like very much like a mental health issue. And I think it would probably be more effective at combating pedophilia, where people can come out to. They can receive psychological help if they say that, like, look, I have these really terrible urges and stuff like. And I don't mean that just for pedophilia. I mean that for a lot of violent, like, sexual impulses, right? That's a problem. I think in Germany they're starting to. I saw a video. They're starting to treat pedophilia in Germany as more of a mental health issue, and there's been a lot of pedophiles who are able to get help, and they say it's like changed a lot of how they are able to do that. And I think that should definitely, we shouldn't it's a lot like drug addiction too, in some sense, where like, look, we need to approach this as a little bit more of a medical issue rather than a pure moralistic legal issue. I think we'd be a lot smarter to approach pedophilia and violent sexual urges through a medical context, I think. I don't know. Is that bad? Would that get me? Is that going to get me? Is that going to get me in trouble? That's not going to get me in trouble. How is it? That's reasonable as fuck, I think. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. To me, I think that would probably be a smarter approach. We haven't done anything really. Like the United States, we don't do anything as far as mental health and like larger like issues like that. It's not a, you know. So yeah, like shut prisons down. Honestly, that's a normal take I think today. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's like, I feel like that's like smart. Like you're getting a little bit more at the root of it rather than like, because what is like a lot of legal action than like a really surface level band-aid in a lot of ways, you know. That's exactly what it is. And it's not like, should pedophilia be illegal? Fuck no. Child porn? No. None of that. That's fucked. That's beyond no. Anything that incentivizes that is big no. But yeah, we should move to, you know, it again doesn't have anything specifically to do with pedophilia per se, but rather a lot of violent sexual, like, because that's a problem, I think, right? You know, I don't know. Want to get Baudrillard? Just watch The Matrix. Just kidding. Oh yeah, that is like the worst way to get Baudrillard. Holy shit. Tell that to Foucault. I started with America, his journal. He was on a trip through the country, but you could probably start with Passwords. Well, a lot of like my reading of Baudrillard is and I'm doing a video on the system of objects right now, right? And that's, you know, that is the beginning of Baudrillard in so many ways, right? Baudrillard hated The Matrix, right? Yeah, I think it totally bastardized his it probably didn't mean to be a complete, you know, one-to-one thing, you know, it didn't, you know, of his actual core philosophy. Yeah, locking antisocial type people with other... Yeah, it's probably a pretty bad idea. I completely agree. Should capitalist urges be medicalized? What would be... I mean, maybe. What would capitalist urges be? You know? I think it probably, in order to medicalize something, we probably need a little something more specific. But, yeah. Yeah, he got pissed at the... Oh, yeah. For misrepresenting him. Yeah, you know, I thought The Matrix, guys, did you guys know I watched The Matrix for the first time like a year ago. I'm 23 years old and I never saw The Matrix until like a year ago. And it wasn't a year ago, it was more like 7-8 months ago. And I liked it. I thought it was very good. I was very shocked. I thought it would be an overrated movie. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. It was better than I thought it would be. Making the desert of the real being portrayed as a literal desert. Yeah. New Vegas. I probably would play some games today, guys. I really would. Bezos not CEO anymore. Yeah. I saw that not too long ago. But listen, I wanted to stream today, right? I really wanted to stream today. I like doing this, guys, but like we said at the beginning of the stream, I have a lot of shit with school I have to take care of, and fuck, man, I'm not even gonna be able to work on the video today. I'm in full production mode for the system of objects, guys. My recording's done, my script is done. I'm in After Effects and Premiere, and I'm working on it, which really means it's at its end sort of phases as far as the production goes. And I can't even fucking work on it. This really fucking pisses me off. It really makes me mad when something gets in the way of something that I like is valuable, like, because, like, let's be real, guys, I'm doing more good for the world by putting a video out about the system of objects than I ever am fucking writing a goddamn 5-page fucking revised thesis paper for history. Oh my fucking god. Fucking Jesus. I hate school at this point. I'm done. I hate the history department at my school. Guys, listen, I bitch about my history department a lot. I don't even go to a prestigious school, guys. I go to a very generic city university, and oh my god, the history department is so intense. It is so intense. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think instead of playing some New Vegas, I'm gonna have to roll on out of here, guys. I would completely end the stream playing New Vegas. Listen, guys, like I said earlier, GME is down to $90 now. The squeeze is over, right? Probably. Due in a few months. That's terrible. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want a third pill. Some real Zizek stuff. Yeah, guys. Listen. We had a discussion earlier on in stream, on the stream, talking about you know, where I kind of want the channel to go and stuff like that. When I am done with school, guys, I'm going to be able to do a lot more stuff. Like, I'm going to be able to do more things. Like, and there's going to be a whole new realm that opens up. I'm very constricted right now. Like, guys, I do a lot with this channel for like the amount of shit that I have to do with my life with school. Like, god damn, I do so much. I have to manage so much shit. But I think theoretically, whenever I'm done with school and I can do this full time, sky's the fucking limit. Sky is the limit. So that is what we are working on. That is what I am working on, getting there. And yeah, I hope to get there sometime soon. And that includes like maybe playing some games more, doing a little bit more unique content. Could I pay you to watch one of my videos on stream when I'm done with it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would feel almost a little bad about paying you. What video are you making? What's it going to be about? Good luck, man, going back to grading. Cool stream. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate all you guys. It's always a lot of fun doing this. Again, I'm busy as fuck, and I didn't expect to stream today, but I like doing it. I just said fuck it. I was like, I'm going to do what I want. I would feel a little bad taking money from you for that, but yeah, I mean, it depends on how long the video is, though, you know, like. But I'm curious of what you're making it about. Good luck. Okay. Yeah, so I'm probably going to head on out of here really quick, guys. You know, we're about at the 2-hour mark right now. Again, I have a shit ton of stuff to do. Oh God, I'm tired of being this busy. Like, it is so mentally unhealthy, guys. Like, it's all I do is work. I've been, okay, very excited about the future of your channel. You're definitely one of the best theory channels right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've been very, I've been forcing myself to like sit down and play. Like, that was something, guys, earlier on. I never played video games, guys. I was in work mode 24/7, and I'm not quite there yet. I haven't done that. I've been forcing myself to really like try to unwind sometimes because it's bad on my. I would go through like mental breakdowns probably once every 2 weeks, like stress breakdowns. And I haven't done that. I'm forcing myself not to do this. Have you ever started or worked in a business? Have I ever started a business? I mean, this is my only like starting a business sort of thing. I've had all kinds of shitty jobs. Yeah. But yeah. So once we're done with this, man, god damn, we can do so much more stuff, and I'll have a clear mind. I can kind of enjoy my life. I can be a human being and not be a complete fucking artificial robot who just goes about things and just pure raw productivity. Oh my god, guys. Terrible for mental health. Had that for years, couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, I'm done. I'm almost done, man. School's almost it. People run into that. What were those shitty jobs? So that is going to have to happen for another stream. I am more than happy to talk about that. It's a very good topic to talk about. We can absolutely do that. I'm sorry, Summer, you may have hopped in a little bit late. I'm actually about to go. I gotta fucking do the whole. I gotta fucking write a fucking paper. I gotta turn in an assignment. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. But hey, Summer, come back when we stream next. I don't know exactly when that will be. Yeah. So let's talk about shitty jobs that I had. We can do that. So I appreciate all you guys. Always do. Feel free. I always give the same spiel. Feel free, guys. If you guys want to pledge a couple dollars a month on Patreon, it helps keep all of this alive. I don't make fucking any money from YouTube. YouTube sucks. I actually just put out a new poll for the next video we're gonna make. I don't know if you guys saw the announcement on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, if you guys want to pledge on that tier, you guys can choose new videos. You get access to exclusive content. If you can't quite do that, like I think our lowest tier is like $3 a month. You get early access to all the videos. Helps me a ton. You guys get these streams in VOD form, which is cool. So yeah, it helps me a ton. Keeps all of this alive. If you guys can't quite do that, no problem. You guys can, I think it's in chat right there. Oh, that's Patreon. Bookmark my Amazon link. If you guys do use Amazon, you guys make any purchases. If you guys don't purchase on Amazon, don't go to fucking Amazon because I have an affiliate link. Don't do that, goddammit. But if you do, and you can't escape it like me, yeah, feel free to use our link, bookmark it, use it whenever you purchase. Listen, they have to pay me for it, so I guess that's good. They're losing out on some money, so that's kind of sick. So yeah, but thank you guys more than anything, guys. Though seriously, I love doing this. This is so fun. It brings meaning in my life, gives me a little escape from the mundane fucking bureaucratic bullshit I have to deal with education all the time. It sucks, but thank you guys so much. I'm gonna head on out of here. I appreciate all of you